What's up, Fight Fam? This is the second episode of the Boxing Bros podcast. I'm Caden. I'm here with my co-hosts. I'll let them introduce themselves. This is Trill.
And it's G.
TBE, baby! We back in style, boy!
We back in style. It's been a few months, but we finally back in style.
No, Caden back in style. Man, you in the gym with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Ned, you 2 cheeseburgers away. You good?
I'm good.
All right, so we'll just do a little, start the discussion off. Anthony Joshua regained his titles back with a 12-round unanimous decision over Andy Ruiz. Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. So we'll get your reaction to that, G. How'd you feel about that?
All right, so clearly I have a different point of view from my co-host, right? Where I do agree with you guys for the most part is I am impressed by AJ's adjustments. However, I'm not impressed by Ruiz's performance. And so I would have liked to see the ideal or the best version of Ruiz going up against this version of AJ. To see like, okay, who would actually win? But I kind of felt like Ruiz didn't take this rematch seriously. And because of that, it was literally just a one-sided fight, damn near from beginning to end. So not taking away from AJ, I just wished Ruiz and his team came up with a better strategy. AJ was going to do the focus on stiff jabs, make you maintain that distance. They knew that about AJ. So it's like, okay, how can you still get in? How can you hit AJ to the body to minimize the movement, to get AJ to slow down, hopefully in the later rounds? I didn't see any of that. I just seen a guy that was just getting dominated and frustrated by AJ. And for that, I say salute to AJ. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I honestly believe that Ruiz didn't even come to bang.
Trills.
AJ, I wouldn't say that AJ didn't come to bang. I mean, Andy didn't come to bang. I think Andy, his game plan was to land a big shot. And it just didn't happen. AJ had a solid game plan. AJ looked the part. I've given the heavyweight division a lot of slack, and I've given the fighters a lot of slack. AJ, I was very, very impressed with AJ. AJ fought a perfect fight. He looked different. I love him using the jab. I love the movement from AJ. I just think the game plan from Andy was wrong. You know what I'm saying? He came in just looking to land a big shot. That's what I think. I think the excuses for the weights, the extra weight is I think he did that on purpose. I think he wanted to have, this is the old Ontario Gotti trick, putting some extra weights. I remember, this is what fighters used to do. I remember Mayorga yelling out to De La Hoya, look, I'm an extra 10 pounds or I'm an extra 15 pounds or something, he said to De La Hoya in their fight. This is an old trick that fighters used to use to put on, extra weight to try to, and the last time he did win is from a lucky punch, and he just tried to do that again. He thought he had AJ's number. That's what he kept saying, and he really didn't have his number. That was just the lucky punch from the gods. AJ just looked. I don't even want to talk about Andy Ruiz no more. I just want to talk about how great AJ looked. That's what I want to talk about.
Ned.
Yeah, what Trell said, man. AJ came out looking phenomenal. Ruiz, props to you. You thought, you had your chance to maintain those belts. You didn't come in and capitalize off of your moment. And now your moment's over. So now just go out there and enjoy your boxing career. We thought you were great. We're not gonna knock your fighting. Your fighting style. You're a phenomenal boxer. You do your thing, but you just didn't come in last night with the right game plan. And honestly, if you could do it against others, go ahead. But AJ came out dominant. He recovered. He did what he needed to do, and he believed in himself. He didn't let nobody else doubt him and end his fighting career. Dictate his fighting career. So shout out to AJ. We back in style. You know,
Back in style, baby.
We back in style, baby. You know, the Fat Boys is upset. They was mad.
Treadmill season.
They got complacent. Pizza. They was eating all the fatty food.
Chicken
man.
wings.
So shout out to AJ, letting them know like you need a 6-pack to get back. Thank you.
So I was very impressed with Anthony Joshua. I think when you look at his performance at Madison Square Garden on June 1st and what he was able to do on December 7th of the same year, just the improvement that he showed, the boxing ability, the ring IQ. He didn't get sucked back into a slugfest with Andy Ruiz. I noticed fluidity in his movement. Andy Ruiz was calling him a robot. He's a robot. He can't really box. Me and Manny Robles. All that stuff he was saying. He was saying that Joshua quit in the fight. He can't box. Joshua proved all those things wrong. Now, people are making a big deal about the weight, but I heard an interview with Manny Robles where he said that losing the weight was making Andy Ruiz feel weak and sluggish, and so they decided to put the weight back on. Andy said he felt good, and he said he wasn't targeting the weight, but he was targeting feeling comfortable in the fight. At no point in the fight did I see Andy Ruiz look tired, look like he was sucking wind. He was still dangerous, fast, and sharp for all 12 rounds. I believe the weight was strategic. I believe he saw Anthony Joshua losing weight, and they may have felt like Joshua was losing too much weight, so they decided they were going to put on more weight for a few reasons. One, it would help Andy Ruiz absorb the punches better. And two, it would give Andy Ruiz more power if he were to land the punch of the gods again. And three, it would give him more strength in the clinch. So I think they put the more weight on to be strategic. However, I think Joshua's fluidity is something that they didn't bank on. His ability to keep Ruiz at bay with the jab and his ability to do it for 12 rounds is something they didn't bank on. And I think that's what cost them. Was Ruiz out eating and partying? Maybe, but how is that any different from any other camp he's had? Realistically, we act like Ruiz has come into the ring, looking like an Adonis, and that's clearly not the case.
When this is as fat as he's been, that's a different.
Who? Listen, I'm just gonna say what Shakur Stevens said.
Well, I'm just gonna give him a fun fact real quick. On June 1st, that was the heaviest Anthony Joshua ever weighed. Go ahead.
Y'all mad at Joshua, but Ruiz ain't throw no punches. That's what Shakur Stevens said. Y'all mad at Joshua, but Ruiz ain't throw no punches.
See, I agree with that statement. I'm mad at Ruiz because Ruiz ain't doing enough. I actually agree with that statement right there.
That's what you gotta understand. Ruiz knew it was he had the opportunity to do, and he couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that was strategic as well. If you look at Ruiz's feet, Joshua never let him plant his feet. Joshua never let him get planted to where he can launch a punch. It was a clinic, and I am pleased with the performance. Like I said, I haven't seen that much improvement, especially from a heavyweight within the span of time. And all the people who doubted Joshua, all the people who said those things about him, they gotta look themselves in the mirror because they let a moment erase all the things that he did throughout his career. From fighting Vladimir Klitschko, from fighting Joseph Parker, from fighting Alexander Povetkin, taking on the toughest challenges back to back to back. They let a moment, one punch, define him and turn him into this cowardly lion, forgetting he was the man who unified the belts. He was the man who put life back into the heavyweight division. He's the man who captured the imagination of the public in the UK, in the USA, and even Saudi Arabia willing to pay him $85 million. Africa. So they forgot those things and they counted them out. And you got to just salute to AJ, whether you're a fan of the style he fought or not. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next question that I have for everyone, which is basically, did Anthony Joshua regain his place as the number one heavyweight in the division? I'm going to start one off with G.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because he never lost it. Is we talking? How are we talking? Are we talking financially? Because he never lost it.
Just as in your, if you know, is he the number one heavyweight?
All right, well, so how I'm gonna define it, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm saying based off of he is the heavyweight cash cow. So if he would have lost, I don't know, but because he won, yo, he's back on top. So everybody and their moms wants to fight AJ. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be real. Wilder wants to fight him. Fury wants to fight him. Everybody else.
Know that. All right,
now everybody. But that's why I'm saying he's up top
as
because
far as
you know that's the
he's
biggest
money guy.
payday. That's the biggest payday. So everyone wants to go towards the biggest payday, and you know that's AJ.
It's kind of, to me, it's kind of just a cop out because if we're saying who's the number one as far as cash cow goes, it's like duh, you can't debate facts. You know, to quote Lil Wayne, to quote that Deontay Wilder always steals, like he made it up. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Now, I'm saying, give me your top 5 heavyweights in the world based on who would win if they fought. Who do you think would be on top? If everyone fought everyone in top 5, yeah, what would the top 5 be?
So not in any particular order. I can just name the name.
Order. Who you think would be number 1?
Your resume.
Who you think's number 2?
If you're saying if everybody fought each other, who would reign supreme? I'm gonna say
based
Wilder
on order,
number
like
one.
if you think Wilder would beat everyone and he'd be on top,
Yeah,
he'd be
so I'm
number
gonna say
1.
Wilder
If you
number
think
1.
Fury would beat everyone else, then Fury would be number 2. Like that's
I'll say Wilder number 1, AJ number 2, Fury number 3. The last two slots. I'll say number 5. I'll give Joseph Parker. Now number 4 is a tough one. 4 and 5 could be toss-ups, to be honest with you. But I'll put Joseph Parker in there. And for my last slot, I will have to say, I guess I'll say Dillian for now. But it's not
Dillian
like
beat Joseph Parker, so
yeah. So like it's Dillian and Joseph Parker will have the last 2 slots. So those will be my 5 top heavyweights right now. So Wilder, AJ, Fury, Dillian, and Parker.
True.
How do I feel? I feel like AJ. AJ is definitely. AJ is just the all around. He's the man right now. Like I said, I have a new appreciation for AJ. I have a newfound appreciation for AJ because I forgot. Like AJ's doing all this on the job. He's learning on the job. He doesn't have this amateur background like these guys got. He didn't got these tune-ups like these other fighters got. As soon as he got in there, he's been taking challenge after challenge after challenge, with tough opponent after tough opponent after tough opponent. You have to credit a guy for that. You know what I'm saying? You have to credit the guy. I don't know who's number 2 and who's number 3 because these guys still got to prove themselves. I know who has proved themselves, and it's Joshua, yo. I have no more questions. He did what I asked him to do. Now I need the other guys to do what I asked them to do. He fought all the top guys all the time. I sound like a broken record. It's not even fair, yo. Forget personal. Like, if this is personal, like personally, I would like somebody from America to be the number 1 guy, personally. But like my heart, like I'm a real, like my name can't be Trill, and I don't keep it 3 times real. Like forget all your personal what's the name, your size or like your personal, like you gotta respect this young man. You have to respect this young man. You have to respect what he has done on the job and what he has done in boxing, yo. This is special. And instead of like just hating this guy, just no fan. Don't be a fan. Don't be no fan of no. Just look at what this guy has accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Before it's over, and then you have to look back. We're having a chance. Like I've always say, like people always say, why do you tell your friends and your family that you love them? You know what I'm saying? Every time, because I have been in situations, right, where I've not been able to tell the person I love the most that I love them because they had passed on with me being able to tell them. The reason why I say that is give these people their flowers while they're here. We have the perfect opportunity that we're seeing something great with our own eyes right now, and we're not appreciating it. That's where it hurts to me as a fan of boxing, because we're getting a chance to see this in the flesh. This is where what I said about Mayweather when I used to hate how people used to treat Mayweather. We're being able to see something special right now, because nobody was saying that Muhammad Ali was the greatest when he was alive and fighting, right? They waited until he was shaking to say, oh, he's the greatest. Like everybody else that they do. They wait to say they're the greatest when they're dead or when they can't even, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge the fact that they are great. So we're being able to see something special. Let's acknowledge it. That's all.
All right, so you're saying you got AJ at number one.
I got
Asked
AJ
you
at
top
number one.
5. Who do you have
I don't.
at 2, 3, 4?
I don't. That's what I said. I don't have a 2, 3, 4, and 5. These guys still got to prove themselves. I'll be lying.
I can respect that.
I'll be lying. Wilder and
Fury
Fury.
didn't prove himself?
No, not no more. Because it has some questions. Because like you said, like I'm like with the Wilder situation, he did get dropped. You know what I'm saying? He did get dropped, right? And he got up he got up, right? But he still got put on his butt. And was this just Wilder looking for one shot? And this is why this happened? You know what I'm saying? And can Wilder make some adjustments to come in here now and start using the jab and using everything? There's questions. That's why I said there's questions for me with these other heavyweights.
And also the Klitschko rematch drove him crazy, I really think, because he didn't give Klitschko the rematch.
Yeah.
And if you look at what just happened with Joshua in the immediate rematch, just because you won the first time doesn't mean you would have won again. And we saw a better Klitschko in the ring with AJ, and we don't know if he would have won.
And I don't even think to me is another thing. Yeah, you beat Klitschko, but you didn't run it right back. You could have been scared. Like damn, like I just pulled off a miracle. Or was that a fluke? Because you didn't get to let us see if that was a fluke or not. You know what I'm saying? Like you getting up from them punches from Wilder. We don't know if that was a fluke or not. Was it just Wilder only looking for that one right hand and he didn't land it how he wanted to land it? We don't know. Or is it because that Tyson Fury was a tall guy and this is the first time Wilder was up against a guy that was the same height as him with that same range going? We don't know. That's why I said with these other guys, it's still up in the questions. All I know is that AJ answered a lot of questions for me last night. And I was really critical of him. I was one of the guys that said he was so stiff. I was one of the guys that said he was punching like Shannon Briggs. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, you know what I'm saying? But now he winning back, he did what he had to do, and you gotta praise him. You gotta look at this. And not to mention that this kid is doing this live. He's doing this live. He does not have no amateur background. He's doing this all on the job.
Live, you mean on the job? Yeah,
Yeah, he's
on
doing
the
this
job.
live
He's doing
on the
it by
job.
being thrown in the fire.
You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't go through this in the amateurs. He didn't go through that, and he's went through this now, and he had to go through the embarrassment in front of everybody.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, in the amateurs, he lost to Dillian White, and when they fought as a pro, he beat Dillian White.
This guy is, man. Listen, we have the opportunity. I get it. We all have our fighters that we like right now, right? We all got our favorite fighters. I got my favorite fighters, right? But I'm not so biased that I can't appreciate something special. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing something special. You know what I mean? We're seeing something special.
So you're saying that you don't have a top 5, you just know who's number 1.
Yes.
All right. So
I'm sorry, by the way, that I went on with my whole.
I'll give my top 5 list, but first I'm gonna let a great say what AJ wanted to say last night, but he's too humble to do it.
Am I the greatest of all time, Muhammad? Everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. When I beat Sonny Liston, I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Then you might get me. But I didn't.
So, I would say this. You made Andy Ruiz Joe Louis. You made him Sonny Liston. You made him a bad man. You made him. All I heard about was how Andy Ruiz. You listen. You know Deontay Wilder, the jokester. Deontay the Crybaby Wilder, that's my new nickname for him. So Deontay the Crybaby Wilder said Ruiz was going to beat him. He said Joshua was so broken. He said Joshua quit. He said it was going to be easier for Ruiz this time around. And Tyson Fury said the same thing. They said there was no way Joshua was going to win. That's what I heard these two guys say. I heard so many people picking against Anthony Joshua. The guy, the British guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's Nelson. He said he was with the Sky Sports team, and there were 10 of them, and he was the only one who really believed Anthony Joshua was going to beat Andy Ruiz. You guys made Andy Ruiz Joe Louis, and last night Joe Louis lost. You don't get to downplay that. If you bet on Ruiz, if you picked Ruiz, if you hopped on that Ruiz bandwagon, you don't get to jump off now and be like, oh, I was never really. Nah, man, y'all rode with him. You made him the baddest thing since Mike Tyson. You did. And Joshua schooled him. 11 rounds out of 12 easy, although I could see it going 12 out of 12. I mean, the 8th round was really a comparative round. You say, oh, well, Ruiz did something this round. Anyways, I got Anthony Joshua, the number 1 heavyweight. The number 2 heavyweight for me would be Tyson Fury. The number 3 heavyweight for me is Dillian White. The number 4 heavyweight for me is Joseph Parker. And the number 5 heavyweight for me would be Deontay Wilder.
You gotta have Wilder on your list.
I think Dillian White would be. I think Tyson Fury is going to beat Deontay Wilder when they fight again. I think if Deontay Wilder fights Dillian White, he would lose to Dillian White, and I think Joseph Parker would beat Deontay Wilder. I'm just gonna say this, and then you make of it what you want. But Derek Chisora had 41 fights. Deontay Wilder's had 43 fights. Derek Chisora is 32-9. Deontay Wilder is 42-1. Right? Derek Chisora fought Tyson Fury twice. He fought Vladimir Klitschko. He fought David Haye. He fought Kubrat Pulev. He fought Dillian White. He fought Ajet Caballo. And he fought Robert Helenius. Okay? All these guys are absent from Deontay Wilder's resume. Right? So if Derek Chisora decided not to fight Tyson Fury in like 2011, and then they fought again like a year later. If he decided not to fight Vladimir Klitschko because he viewed himself as a baby fighter who wasn't ready, if he chose not to fight David Haye, if he chose not to fight Pulev, if he chose not to fight Dillian White, if he chose not to fight the 19-0 German Ajet Caballo, who's 19-0, 13 KOs right now, who's absent from Deontay Wilder's resume, if he decided not to fight Robert Helenius, he would be 32-0 right now with 23 knockouts. And we'd be talking about him like he's some god too. Right? Here's the facts. Tyson Fury, the guy who Derek Chisora lost to twice, Deontay Wilder fought him fresh off the couch. Not even an active Tyson Fury. Fresh off the couch. And he had a draw with him. He could have fought Vladimir Klitschko, but he ducked him. We know he ducked him because Shelly Fanko said he was a baby champion at the time. You can find that on the internet. I'm not making this up. These are facts. David Haye, he ducked David Haye too. He could have fought David Haye. David Haye was a little guy coming from the cruiserweights. David Haye was looking for all the smoke. Instead, he was so not on David Haye's level, he was a sparring partner for David Haye. Look this up. It's online. You can see David Haye schooling Deontay Wilder in sparring sessions. It's online. Look it up. He never fought Pulev. Pulev's still around. Pulev's a top contender. Wilder, fight Pulev. Right? Dillian White, we be cheating, the WBC, and UCAD. We're going to get into that. What they did to Dillian to save Deontay? Please.
Poor Dillian.
Please, poor Dillian. Okay? And then he never fought the other guys. So to me, Deontay Wilder is a Derek Chisora. And until he proves otherwise, him and Derek Chisora are the same cat to me. So I got Anthony Joshua 1. I got Tyson Fury 2. I got Dillian White 3 with a hell of a resume. Dillian White has beaten some elite level fighters that Deontay Wilder's yet to step in the ring with. Dillian White 3 to me. Number 4, I got Joseph Parker. And then number 5, I have Deontay Wilder. And I have Joseph Parker number 5 because he beat Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz has to win over Joshua. But after his performance last night, I mean, I don't think he can beat some of the elite level guys. So that's my pick.
It's just crazy too that you really like how you broke it down like that, right? You gotta see with all the things that these guys got in common is that they fought each other.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's out of that
It's Wilder.
is Wilder.
And that's my point. Derek Chisora could easily be making the claim that he's the greatest guy ever if he chose not to fight. But he chose to challenge himself against the best. That's why he got 9 L's. That's why I can respect his 9 L's. More than I can respect Wilder. At least I know what Chisora is. When I look at Chisora, I know what you are. You're a gatekeeper. You know how I know you're a gatekeeper? Because you took on the challenges to see if you were more than a gatekeeper. Wilder won't do that.
Yo, Wilder is Rocky 3. That's how I feel. It's Rocky 3. You gotta, and he's gonna be mad because at the end of the day, we don't call fighters greats because of how many wins they have. We call fighters great because who they have these wins over and who they've been in the
Exactly.
ring with. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with, and it doesn't matter if you lose too. That's another thing. Canelo lost to Floyd, and I'm calling Canelo a great. You know what I'm saying?
But more important than that, Rocky Marciano, 49-0. And Muhammad Ali lost 5 fights.
Exactly.
No one in their right mind would say Marciano's better than Muhammad Ali.
And this is right. This is what's gonna hurt. This is what's gonna hurt Wilder. And I like Wilder. And I want to see Wilder do. I have a lot of questions for Wilder. I want to see Wilder, the Wilder that came out in Foster Vern. The Wilder that came out in Foster Vern. I want to see that Wilder, not this searching for the right hand Wilder. You can make it so much easier for yourself. He could have made the Tyson Fury fight so much easier for himself. This is called boxing. This is not MMA. I mean, this is not the UFC. This is called boxing. You have to box. It's not just hunting somebody down and just you have to box. You know what I'm saying? Like, boxing fans. This is why the people ain't watching. This is why the people ain't coming out. This is why you're not getting the respect. I know you want the respect. You want the respect. I know you want the respect, man. I'm not saying that you're a coward. I'm not saying that you're afraid. I'm just saying that you're not
testing yourself.
You're not testing yourself. And maybe it's not you. You have to at least tell these people or shake the people from around you. And like Rocky had to tell Mickey, put me in there. You know what I'm saying? Even though Mickey was telling him no.
You're not ready.
You're not ready. You know what I'm saying? That's when Mickey was trying to keep him. You know, he's gonna kill your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you gotta tell Mickey no.
That's Shelly. That's
You know what I'm
Shelly
saying?
to Wilder.
You gotta tell him no. You know what I'm saying? Let me be great, yo. Because you don't even know. Wilder might be even great.
He
in
has
defeat,
the power to beat all of them.
but he might be even greater in his defeat.
Yeah, true.
You know what
And
I'm
you
saying?
see, and I actually like to thank both of y'all. I actually agree 1,000% with everything you guys said. It didn't, but I think the number one factor for a lot of fighters is if I take an L, I may not be placed in that same position again. Like, think about it. Look at what happened to Andy Ruiz. Literally, we all viewed him as, this was a top dude in the heavyweight division. But that last performance was like, nah, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe he did get super lucky with AJ. And now it's like, is he really going to get those same opportunities again? Probably not. You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of, the business side is scaring a lot of fighters from daring to be great.
But he
Because
still
it's
did
like-
it though.
But that's
one?
where he's
Ruiz.
Ruiz.
No, yeah. What I'm saying is,
he's gonna get opportunities now because he has that on his resume. So like, and you can't play with him on the money because he was the guy who dropped the guy. Like, you couldn't play with Rockman after he beat Lennox. You know what I'm saying?
And, like,
you had to pay him. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
even with because there's still, like, you know what it is? Y'all didn't do it.
Exactly.
Now that's where the money's gonna come now. Like y'all didn't do it. He was the one. Now can y'all do that to Andy Ruiz?
Exactly. Can Wilder beat Ruiz?
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
Is, which,
Can
which
Tyson
is you're
Fury-
actually segueing into a next question that I have. But just no more words than your top 5 heavyweights. Name one.
Alright, my top 5 heavyweights would be AJ, Fury. I throw Wilder, Dillian, and Parker.
All right. So I'll start the next question off with you, Ned. If they fought next year, who would you lean towards? Deontay Wilder or Andy Ruiz?
Wilder's right hand is vicious, but I think Ruiz would be able to get in if Wilder's playing that game where he's just waiting to land the right hand. Ruiz will get in on him and destroy him, like literally do the same thing he did to AJ and June to Wilder. In May, any day next year, if they set up that fight, that's how I see it playing out. If Wilder goes in there with that same mindset of I'm just gonna land the right hand, let him hit me, land the right hand, it's not gonna play in his favors.
All right, G.
Clearly, I got Wilder. But I'll say this, though. It's funny that you asked that question because when I watched the Ruiz versus AJ fight, it reminded me of the Wilder-Fury first fight, right? Where Wilder was just trying to go for the knockout. And he was just getting dominated for those rounds. Ruiz is doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, forget boxing skills. I'm going to wait till this dude slow down and I'm going to crack him. So it's like, But one thing, Ruiz was really, really afraid of AJ's right hand. It was clear as day. So if he's afraid like that with AJ's right hand, I'm pretty sure he's going to be afraid with Wilder's right hand. Now, does Wilder utilize the jab as well as AJ did? Probably not, but I still believe that Wilder will still connect with the right hand on Ruiz. Ruiz is at a major height disadvantage, a reach disadvantage, and if he's going to come in at that weight, Wilder doesn't slow down. So like Wilder's going to maintain that distance. So I see it's going to be the same outcome. No, not the same outcome. Excuse me. I think Wilder's going to knock him out, as opposed to letting it go to decision.
True.
It depends on where Deontay Wilder shows up. If the Deontay Wilder shows up like the Deontay Wilder that fought Ortiz and Tyson Fury, just searching for that one punch, it's going to be a long night. Andy Ruiz is a different kind of fighter. He likes to move his head. And
he didn't move his head last night.
He was in there with a different fighter. Mm-hmm. That's why I said Deontay Wilder's going to have to fight a certain way. If Deontay Wilder goes in there and fights like he fought Stavern that first fight, then I got Deontay Wilder. If Deontay Wilder goes in there and tries to look for that one right hand, Andy Ruiz he's not an old Ortiz, and he's not a bedridden Tyson Fury. This is a guy who has skills and who is fast. You know what I'm saying? And when he closed that distance, he's fast when he lets his hands go in there. Deontay Wilder would have to fight that fight like he fought with Stavern that first fight, and he would win if he fought that way. And like, to be honest, I hope this has to be an eye opener. That fight last night has to be an eye opener for Deontay Wilder. I hope these guys got up and he went in the gym and he's with the brother. What's the brother's name?
Mark Breland.
I hope he's in them right now. He got his right hand tied to his waist right now, and he's in there throwing jabs.
Actually, bro, he doesn't be out. We're going to talk about a Deontay Wilder's reaction to this fight in a second. But so you're saying it depends on which Wilder shows up.
Yes, the Deontay Wilder that showed up for that first Stavern fight. Yes, he gets he eventually catches Andy Ruiz, or it goes the distance in the later rounds, though. You know what I'm saying? But it'll have to be that Deontay Wilder, not this Deontay Wilder that keeps the jab hand low and the right hand cuff right hand. Nah, it won't be that Wilder. Andy Ruiz is still, even though he lost last night, Andy Ruiz is still that guy that put on that great performance against Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? He's still that guy that was out there. He had the wrong game plan for this. He didn't believe in his skills. He believed on the lucky punch from the gods. Mm-hmm. And that's where he went wrong in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He didn't believe in his skills. He believed in the lucky punch from the gods.
Yeah, so, Ned, who Oh, you already did go. So it's on me. All right, cool. Look, here's the deal, man. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna be real. Deontay Wilder is probably the least skilled heavyweight champion I've seen. Heavyweight champion of the world that I've ever seen. And Andy Ruiz has only lost to Joseph Parker, who's a talented, fast fighter, and he lost to Anthony Joshua. But he gave Joseph Parker hell, and he gave Anthony Joshua his first loss, and he made Joshua have to box. Deontay Wilder, even at his best boxing performance, couldn't box the way AJ boxed last night. Deontay Wilder doesn't have the foot movement that Anthony Joshua shown last night. Deontay Wilder's jab isn't as good as the jab that Anthony Joshua showed last night. Andy Ruiz has a variety of punches he can throw. His hand speed is faster than Deontay Wilder's.
I'm gonna cut you off. I didn't know Joshua had that shit until last night.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Joshua had that movement and stuff.
Yeah,
until last night.
and so he showed a lot before that fight. Ruiz was saying he can't box, he's robotic, all types of things. After last night, if Ruiz ever thought about making that statement again, he should wake up and apologize, or maybe he should just wake up and pop on the tape, or he should just maybe he wants to burn that tape. But regardless, beating Ruiz hasn't been easy for Joseph Parker, hasn't been easy for Anthony Joshua. His style, Deontay Wilder cannot exchange. Deontay Wilder has one punch. Andy Ruiz loves to fight mid-range. Deontay Wilder needs distance to get his punch off. Andy Ruiz is a fighter I believe would give Deontay Wilder all types of problems. So, I mean, I agree with your assessment, but if I had to put my money on what would happen, I think Ruiz knocks Deontay Wilder out.
Deontay gotta find this jab, yo. That's the only way he's gonna
He's
be.
never been in the ring
Andy.
with a person who came to win, except Tyson Fury that one time.
Like he needs to fight. Like that first fight with Stavern, that was the only fight. That's my only. I try to judge fighters on their best performances, and that was his best performance.
So, moving on, Deontay Wilder ripped Anthony Joshua's performance against Ruiz. He said he fought like Klitschko, jab, grab, and hold. Wilder said his mentality is different. Wilder said he is not coming in after a loss to dance, jab, and hold. He said he would come to dominate. So, Ned, what are your thoughts on Deontay Wilder's comments about Anthony Joshua's performance against Ruiz?
It's irrelevant. Like, honestly, Wilder is just talking to keep himself in the limelight or to shine on AJ's parade or put himself in front of all of AJ's glory. But what AJ did last night literally dominated Andy Ruiz and dominated the match in all forms and phases of that fight last night. So for Wilder to sit there and say that he doesn't really know what that word dominate means, because AJ was the more superior fighter last night, and we all saw it, because Ruiz was not the fighter he was in June, and we don't know what was going through Ruiz's head, but Wilder, shut up.
True.
So you mean that was flattering? That was a diss. That was a diss.
True's thinking like me.
Like that ain't no diss. You just complimented him. You just said that he fought like Klitschko, one of the longest reigning heavyweights. That wasn't a diss to me. That was a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Klitschko was one of the longest reigning. Listen.
I think what he's saying is it's boring, not exciting,
Who?
like his knockouts. That's what he was
Listen,
saying.
I mean, man, listen to who? Depending on who you are. You know what I'm saying? You dominating somebody. I didn't really see too much. I seen a little bit of the the hit and hold thing. To me, I seen a guy that was out there boxing. He was moving around. I seen his at one point I thought I seen both of his feet off the ground swinging around the ring. He was moving so good around the ring. I was like looking like a genie in there. Deontay Wilder, I just feel like, I mean, you got to ask. It's just jarring. I really hope that I just hope that he was just talking just to be talking. You know what I'm saying? It's competitiveness. It's just people just they gotta say something. I just really hope that he took notes. Because everything that AJ did in that fight is everything that I want Wilder to do. You know what I'm saying? I hope that it was so nice. I hope that Wilder watched it 32 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he's sitting there watching it and he's like, yo, I can make this. Because I really think that Wilder, he can be something. Looking at his body, right? To me, I always like fighters that look like that. You know what I'm saying? Thomas the Hitman Hearns is my man. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I like fighters with that build. Like, he could that right here could be even more devastating. If he could set it up with the jab, that right here could even be more devastating. You know what I'm saying? If he just box, bro. Stop having a comment on everything that this dude is doing, and you go in there and you box. You go back in the gym, yo. Stop listening to the white dude in your corner just telling you that all you need to do is land one. That's it. That's all. No.
JD's.
You need to go in there and you have to learn. You got not even learn, because just go back to your roots. Go back to boxing, because that is what's going to cause longevity. That's what's going to that's where people are going to call you the greatest. I know you'll just go in there and lose rounds and try to land a big shot. I know that's what you were saying. I'm not going to go in there and try to be technical and really box, because this is the sport of boxing. I'm going to go in there and lose the rounds and just hope to pray to lose to land the right hand. You know what I'm saying?
That's the translation of you got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only got to be perfect for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All he's really saying is, I'm
Eventually.
going to land my prayer eventually.
Yeah, like you can't. I just think it's just basically, at sometimes, I'm not holding Wilder too much on this. I just think it's like, you know how like as a girl, if a guy has a little bit of insecurity and the girl's watching the video and he's like, oh, look at him, look at the way he move, baby. Listen, I do that too. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's all that is. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all that was. I think Deontay Wilder, man, listen, we got eyes. And if I was a fighter and I seen where he did, I would be like, yo, I need to step my game up. I can't just go in there thinking that all I need to do is land this, searching for this right hand. I know Deontay Wilder, if he really loves this sport of boxing, he knows he got to get better. I remember a long time ago, we had this discussion. It was like many years ago, we had this discussion, and we were saying the worst thing that a fighter says is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. To me, that's the worst thing a boxer could say.
G?
All right. With Wilder's statement, right? You can pack it multiple ways, but I'm gonna view it in 2 ways. So the first one, I think, is a low-key compliment, to be honest, because he's acknowledging the adjustments that Joshua has done for that fight. Now, the hate comes in with the comparing them to the Klitschko style is because, you know, although Klitschko will always be regarded as a top heavyweight and he held down the heavyweight division for a decade, that's not a fan-friendly style. So that I could respect the critique to a degree. However, Wilder, we all know, whether you're an AJ fan or an AJ hater, we all know AJ needed to utilize that style to defeat a guy like Ruiz, right? But I wouldn't classify it as a Klitschko style. I would view it more as a Lennox Lewis style. You know what I mean? And I think that's the reason why a lot of people actually liked AJ. Because I feel like Klitschko is notorious for the throw a jab, I get too close, I'm just going to bear hug you and wait for the referee to say, all right, break. You know, people don't want to watch that, you know, but Lennox was more, I'm going to hit you with the stiff jab, I'm going to move out the way, hit you again. People want to see that, you know, so I think Wilder was low-key hating. He's supposed to do that, you know, like, and to agree with Ned on this one, yeah, he's riding his coattail, like, yo, all right, Wilder's AJ's in the limelight right now. Because that's gonna build some traction. People going like, oh, yo, you see what Wilder said, blah blah blah. So it's it's just entertainment, But I truly believe. Let me not even truly believe anything because I be wrong all the time now. Apparently, I want to believe that Wilder seen that performance, it was like, all right, we gotta level up. Like, all right, if AJ is being serious with the jab, I'm about to be serious with my jab. You know what I mean? He's working on the distance, I'm about to work on my distance. Yeah, he's throwing combinations, I'm about to throw combinations. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's friendly competition. Like if you see somebody else outperforming you, learn from it. Like you could either do two things, or maybe three. You could learn from it, try to replicate it, or do better than the person. You could just hate and be like, oh, it is what it is. Or you could just do nothing and just be indifferent, right? Wilder's choosing to hate. But I honestly believe within that hate, there's that acknowledgement. And so Wilder low-key is giving out a compliment to AJ with that statement.
So left hook knockout in the near future? Wilder?
You said what?
Left hook knockout by Wilder in the near future?
Against who?
Fury?
Against who? Yeah, listen, all day, dog. All day. To this day.
So my reaction is this: Klitschko style, maybe. Lennox Lewis style, maybe. Thomas the Hitman Hearn style, maybe. Thomas the Hitman Hearn was trained by Manuel Stewart. Manuel Stewart trained Lennox Lewis. Manuel Stewart trained Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko helped Anthony Joshua. That's what greats do. You listen to other greats and people who did it before you and people who know what they're talking about. So maybe Wilder should just take notes and learn how to become a better fighter. Exactly. My reaction to Deontay Wilder is Anthony Joshua proved he's mentally tough. He's the fourth heavyweight to accomplish this feat. The only heavyweights to ever lose and regain the title in a direct, immediate rematch are Floyd Patterson, Lennox Lewis, and Muhammad Ali, and now you add Anthony Joshua to the mix. Deontay Wilder, as I coin him now, Deontay the Crybaby Wilder, you cried after a press conference with Tyson Fury. That's how mentally weak you are. You cried to your girlfriend, which is the epitome of a sucker.
It's okay, baby.
It's the epitome of a sucker where I'm from. When I roast you and you go crying to your girlfriend. And I'm not making this up for anybody who thinks I'm making this up. Watch All Access, where Tyson Fury has a 10-8 press conference and sends Deontay Wilder crying into his girlfriend's arms. So Deontay, mentally weak Wilder, Deontay, crybaby Wilder, shut up and fight Tyson Fury, fight Dillian White, hell, even fight Derek Chisora. I don't care. I mean, I think you would beat Derek Chisora, but then again, maybe not, because he's fought better people than you. So fight somebody good, and then maybe people will respect you, and more than 7,000 people will pay for tickets to your fight. How about that?
God, shit.
So moving on, we're going to talk about Michael Hunter and Alexander Povetkin. How'd you feel about that fight, Trills?
It was a good fight. It was a good fight. I actually didn't really expect it to be a good fight. I went in there, I was shocked.
Did you score that fight?
I was shocked. No, I didn't, because I really thought it was gonna be like I didn't think, and then I really didn't think it was gonna be that type of fight. I didn't really think it, and then I was shocked. And midway, I said to myself, I wish I would have. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have scored this fight. But I seen it going I seen Michael Hunter started off first. I thought that first round was going to be crazy. I thought he came out, and I was like, oh, snap, then. The roids. That's what I was talking about. I was like, the roids ain't working. The roids ain't working. But Alexander Povetkin showed that he's a tough guy. But we always knew he was a tough guy. He only lost to Klitschko and AJ, and he's being there training with Lomachenko and Yusuf. He be with them crew. They got their own little Ukrainian crew. You know what I'm saying? That they all be hanging with each other. So I know he's always gonna be in shape, and he looked in tremendous shape. The body punches from these guys was crazy. The punches landed on these guys. These guys were getting hit with some flush shots, and they had good chins. I was impressed by both guys. I know in the third, and I mean in the rematch, I think Michael Hunter, the more fresher guy, is gonna win. I seen that Alex seemed like he slowed down a little bit. So if he can get past this fight, I say why not do a farewell fight in Russia or Ukraine with all the guys on it. You know what I'm saying? Like a farewell fight for him and put all the guys like Yusuf and Lomachenko on that card.
Kovalev.
Kovalev going to jail, bro. He ain't gonna make that call.
He ain't gonna put them all on the one card and have them like a send off. I think that would be dope.
G, your thoughts on that fight? Did you score it? Would you want to see?
I
a
actually
rematch?
didn't score it, but it seemed pretty even for me. Yo, first when we recorded the YouTube video, I was like, nah, I don't want to see no rematch. But when I think about the performance and other options that Michael Hunter has in regards to chances of winning, I think he should run it back, to be honest with you. I think strategically it makes sense for his career. Get a decisive win with a name like Povetkin on your resume would do great for his career. And not to mention, this is good work for him. So Povetkin is not the Povetkin of old. So Povetkin still is crafty. He still has that experience, but he's not as dangerous as he used to be. Like this ain't even the Povetkin that fought AJ. So so it's like.
Clearly.
Yeah, so that way you can still capitalize off of the name. You get more experience. You're fighting a veteran, so you go like, all right, this is the type of stuff that I need to improve on. So when he moves up, hopefully when he faces like Chisora or a Dillian, I think that's where the buck stops right there. It's like, even if he gets a shot with Dillian, he's not gonna beat Dillian. I don't believe. So I don't see this dude with any of the elites. The closest to an elite level fighter he can get to is Dillian, and I think Dillian will only take that fight if, in fact, the WBC is still not going to give him like the title shots that he's looking for and everything. But that's the only way I can see Michael Hunter moving up. But I forgot to bring this up earlier. I got issues with these fighters now walking into the ring with all of these giddy ups. Dude had 2 masks on, Like, how you gonna walk in as the Predator, but also with the Predator mask, and then you take off the first mask, and I'm thinking he's gonna take the whole thing off, and he stays with the other mask on. I'm like, yo, come on, fam. Like, you just spent like what, $50 at what's that, Party City or whatever? You know what I mean? To buy that little costume, and it's just like, yo, that doesn't scare nobody. Just take that off. I can at least respect when Wilder does it. Because it's like custom made, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like it costs a lot of money. My man Michael Hunter, literally was balling on a budget. So, I don't know. Sometimes we got to cut that out. But salute to Michael Hunter and salute to Povetkin. I do agree, and I like that, the suggestion. Like, you know what? If you're on your way out anyways, make it like a Soviet bash. You know what I mean? Like, all the Ukrainian fighters, all the Russian fighters, like, just have a whole lineup where it's just them versus like Americans even. That would be kind of dope, And then after the end of that fight, Povetkin retires and goes off to the sunset with his PEDs.
Sounds very Rocky IV.
Exactly.
I don't know. Truthfully, here's what I'm going to do. Alexander Povetkin, your new name is Alexander Smelling Salt Povetkin. Because at the end of the first round in the corner, it looked like to me they used smelling salt on Alexander Povetkin, and it woke him up. And he was able to eke out a decision. I scored the fight round by round, and I had the fight scored 115 to 113 for Povetkin. Of course, I won't argue with a draw. I mean, it's a round. It can go either way some rounds. So you can't argue with that. But I will say this, Hakeem Rahman, stop being petty. You petty, Hakeem. Because Povetkin beat you, you want to try to get revenge on Povetkin when he's 40 years old. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let old beefs die. Listen, you put your pupil at risk and for what? Your own personal vendetta against Povetkin, and it almost worked, but he had them smelling salts with him. Hey, listen, realistically, I don't want to see Hunter Povetkin again. I think Hunter should get the edge. Povetkin's going to be older. I don't know if he could survive the onslaught that he received in round 1 at an older age. I think there are better fights out there for both of them, and this is what I mean. I think Povetkin can try to get the Wilder fight. I mean, if Wilder feels like adding another old name to his resume.
It'd be a name though. Like that would be a name.
Yeah, finally it'd be a name, exactly. And I think he's right for the pickings. I mean, Michael Hunter almost got him out of there. You got to believe Wilder would finish the
And I'm
job.
glad that you said that though. Just real quick, you continue. I think that would be great, and I think that AJ should push. I mean, not AJ. I think Wilder should push for that. He should tell Al Heyman to give Povetkin $2 to $3 million just for the name.
Yeah, get the name. I think so. Povetkin can cash out.
Take a
Wilder
cut.
can get the name. I actually think Michael Hunter and Alexander Usyk would be a better fight, and it'll be a more lucrative fight for Hunter as well. That's an option for Hunter. I think Hunter can fight a Derek Chisora, which would, in Derek Chisora, he's coming off of looking good in his last fight. It'll be a name for him. If he really wants to test himself and he really wants to impress the public, try to get Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's looking for a dance partner. You just drawed with Alexander Povetkin. I just think there's better opportunities out there for both of them rather than going back at each other. I think they were trying to get certain opportunities by fighting each other. The winner of this fight would take on that person, right? I think they both can get the people they wanted if they would have won based on the draw, because now Hunter's credible. Now Povetkin's credible. You do it again, one of them's gonna lose that value. So I think they shouldn't do it again. I'd rather see them fight other people. Hell, Deontay Wilder fight Michael Hunter. I mean, if no one's gonna say anything. He draw with Povetkin.
Somebody's definitely going to see
Don't
that
do
fight.
that, man. Don't do that to that young brother.
Nah, that's because nobody's going to watch it. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
think
Nobody
anyone's
wants to
gonna
see
watch
that.
it. But
At least if he fights Povetkin, people will watch it in Russia.
you're talking about from Deontay's standpoint of making money. But we all know
No,
that.
I think in that fight, Deontay Wilder will have to give his purse to Povetkin for that fight. Similar to like the AJ situation with the Charles Martin. You know what I'm saying? Charles Martin cashed out. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Hearn basically paid for that belt. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where Wilder would have to do to pay for that name. That's a good name. That's a good name to pay for. You know what I'm saying? And I think he should pay for that name. Have him go fly all the miles to the Barclays, and you know what I'm saying? You know Povetkin is on his way out. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? That's easy for Deontay Wilder. At least he'll have a name. That's what I'm worried about with Deontay Wilder. His resume at the end of the day. This is what's starting the stuff that's going to start coming into play. You know what I'm saying? Let's start getting some names. Deontay Wilder, get some names. Fight the Derek Chishoras. Go fight the Dillian Whites. Go fight these guys. Go get some names under your belt so you have some bargaining chips. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Deontay Wilder has a draw with Tyson Fury. Michael Hunter has a draw with Alexander Povetkin. So, to me, they're the same quality fighter. All right, moving on. That's a fact. The hate is me saying something that isn't real. What I said is real. So, now moving on. Dillian White was on the undercard for the Joshua Ruiz rematch, and Dillian White fought Maurice Watch. Yeah, it's spelled differently. Maurice Watch, and he won a decision. What was your reaction to the Dillian White Maurice Watch fight?
Yeah, I don't know much about the Watch dude, because when they were talking about him, like, he is a crafty veteran and he's hard to take out. So I was like, I'll give him that credit. But watching that fight, man, I was real nervous for Dillian, to be honest with you. Like, he came in, yo, man, that's the hugest I've ever seen Dillian. You know what I mean? And he didn't look good, like, at all during that fight. And so I have to believe it's been due to the suspensions or the UCAD stuff. So maybe he hasn't been training like he should have been. And so I was like, yo, that would have been trash if this dude comes back to the ring and loses to an unknown person, you know? And so luckily, excuse me, luckily Dillian, you know, pulled out the victory. You know, I'm happy for that, you know, but I really do hope Dillian now is taking his career serious again. And he's back in the gym religiously, losing that weight and, you know, just getting ready for bigger and better competition.
Ned, did you see that fight?
No, I didn't get a chance to. I was at the barber shop waiting in line to get my hair cut.
Why were you at the barber shop before watching a boxing match?
It was in prime time hours. Man. So
In Ned's defense, I don't think any of us knew it was going to be that early.
it was
that
a little
fight was
early. I
early.
thought it was gonna run around like 4 or 5 o'clock. And then
Don't
we catch
defend
it.
Ned.
But I was
Were
trying
you
to.
trying to
Huh?
be in style for when it was time to come back in
Yo,
style?
even AJ
Yeah.
didn't even get a lineup.
Hey
bro.
man, we work in different professions, man. You can't walk around with the grizzly all the time. But when Dillian, from what I'm hearing you guys saying, he didn't really box that well in this last match.
I don't want your opinion on the fight. You didn't
Yeah.
watch it. Be
He
quiet.
didn't- I'm
I
just
don't want you
saying,
to
he didn't
recap.
box
Yo,
that
bro,
well in the
stop.
fight
I don't want you to
before
recap what we're saying. We
Yeah.
can say it right here.
But
Yo,
the
Trill.
fight before, he didn't even fight that well either. I felt.
So act like this is like third grade English class.
Yo,
No.
bro.
Give
bro.
us a recap.
No hearsay, bro. We
So,
don't,
man,
we
he's
don't,
a
we
summary.
don't want hearsay,
I'm
bro.
not saying from what y'all.
No,
saying,
you're giving hearsay right now.
he didn't fight.
You're
that
basing
well.
your
And I'm
opinion
just
based on
saying,
what we said,
he didn't
which is
fight that
secondhand
well in the match
information.
before.
How you know he didn't fight well? You have first-hand knowledge of that? Did you see it? No. So
No,
be
in the
quiet.
fight
No, just
before,
stop
he
talking.
did.
You don't have anything to
I
add to
don't.
the subject. Okay, so
I'm
just
done.
stop talking. All right, Trill,
Wow.
what was your reaction to the Dillian White Marcus watch fight?
Poor Dillian, yo. Like, poor Dillian. It's coming apparent now. Everybody's saying poor Dillian. Poor Dillian.
Who was the
Soon as-
first one to say poor Dillian? That's what I want to know.
It's true.
Poor Dillian. At first it was funny. Now it's just sad.
Nah, for real. For real.
You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
funny at
It was
first,
funny at first. Now it's just it's sad, yo. It's really sad. Like you know, we have a good side of boxing, and then there's the bad side of boxing. And you know, Dillian has been on the bad side of boxing. Like I just sometimes some people just don't get fair shakes. Like Adrian Granados, to me, never got like a fair shake. There's some guys just don't get fair shakes. Like Chad Dawson at the end of his career, I was like he didn't get a fair shake. There's a lot of people. Some people don't get the looks like they deserve. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. Like poor Dillian though. I feel sad for Dillian. Like what more do you want from the guy? The guy do anything you ask him to do. You know what I'm saying? You say jump up and down on one leg and pat your belly, rub your head. He was doing all that, bark like a dog. He'll do all that, and you still didn't give him what he wanted. Eventually, that plagues on you. As soon as I seen Dillian, my first thing was he's depressed, yo. As soon as I seen him, he's not happy. Some people, money doesn't make them happy. You know what I'm saying? Fighting bums don't make them happy. You know what I'm saying? Like being champion would make Dillian happy. Having that opportunity to fight.
He doesn't even need to be champion. He just wants the opportunity to
Yeah.
become champion.
He just wants the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's sad. I don't want to talk about this fight because I just feel like, you know, it's the obvious. He wasn't in shape. He didn't even look like himself. Like it just looked weird. Like
I share those sentiments. So let's just go into the next thing we're going to talk about. Dillian White was cleared by UCAD. UCAD cleared him of any wrongdoing. This isn't saying like, oh, they basically said he's innocent, and they dropped their case against Dillian White. And so, what are your thoughts to that? And should the WBC reinstate Dillian White as the mandatory?
Poor Dillian. Poor Dillian. Poor Dillian. He had to go. Joe, you see, this is not. It's not even funny no more. I'm laughing because, but it's not even funny no more. Like, this is crazy. Y'all don't give him nothing. Y'all, that's all y'all say is y'all drag this man's name through the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Cost him his mandatory status.
Yo, bread. It
Have
cost
the
him-
world calling him a cheater.
Listen, like, and this is all y'all gonna do. This is it. And the WBC is not gonna. They're not gonna do nothing about it, man. Because look, the belt is on hold. The belt
For
is
the
on
franchise
hold.
champion.
The belt is on hold.
The franchise heavyweight champion, WBC.
The belt is on hold. Dillian's not, because even let's just say this fight with Tyson Fury happens, right? Now let's just say Deontay Wilder wins. Do you think that he's gonna fight his mandatory next? No.
Nah, they're gonna give him
Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Or to try to make that and talk that up, so they're gonna put somebody else before that fight. So it's gonna be a guy that we don't know that he's gonna fight before that Ruiz fight. You know what I'm saying? To set up that Ruiz fight, because they both on PBC, so you can put both of them on the same card. You know what I'm saying? To boost up the next fight. So obviously, and then by that time, you feel what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Poor Dillian. He's never. I said it before. I don't know what the beef is, but they're never gonna let him fight for that belt. They're never gonna let him fight for that belt. His thing is, maybe he should be trying to rematch with AJ.
It's gonna be difficult for him to get a rematch with AJ.
And I know that too.
His
That's what I'm
best
saying.
chances if they break the belts up,
Exactly.
which might happen.
Because I heard the IBF is talking about.
They want Pulev to get a shot at.
Yeah. So Pulev and Dillian.
They probably won't, maybe.
But that's possible though. Like, have Pulev and Dillian fight, or Dillian fight what's his name? Usyk. You know what I'm saying? But I doubt they're gonna
They
do
don't
that.
want. They want to make Usyk the champion, so they want to give him the
So I
most
doubt-
easy
yeah,
fight
that's what I'm saying.
possible to win the title. They trying to get they trying to get someone off. They trying to get Samuel Peters off the couch to fight him.
Like, to be honest, it would be nice if they reinstated his mandatory position, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to mention the way the WBC is. I think honestly, all the four major, federations, right? They all kind of do the same thing. It's all subjective the way they select who gets the
Nah, bro, this is the
mandatory slot.
podcast, so I'm coming at you, bro. You were hard on Dillian. You embraced it like he was a cheater.
Yo, listen.
bought
I still
into
think
the-
he cheated. You know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't cheat though. They admitted.
No. What they're admitting is they can't without a shadow of a doubt conclude like, yo, this dude was cheating. But yo, if the traces are in you, the
Nah,
traces
bro.
are in
If
you,
you can't conclude without a shadow of a doubt that this dude's cheating, you don't peg him as a cheater.
whatever. You know what I'm
What
saying?
you mean whatever?
I'll
There's
give
no
you that.
whatever.
No,
Cho, you were tough on it. You think if you can't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this dude's cheating, you go out there and say that he's a cheater?
Nah, they did that to that man.
Yeah.
No. Well, no.
They
They
did that
didn't
to
say
him.
he's a cheater. Remember, UCAD kept quiet through the whole situation.
Yo, bro, they dropped. Yo, here's an admission.
We
Yo,
all speculated.
Yo, bro, for years, Eric Molina's case went on for years. They take a long time with their cases. They don't just withdraw and dismiss the way they did with Dillian White.
Because they're probably facing a lawsuit.
Well, they're gonna be facing a lawsuit.
Now,
Because remember, like Dillian, the whole time, every time they ask him about it, he's like, I can't talk about
Oh,
it.
so if you're
due to
facing a
legal
lawsuit
fees."
and you're doing things the right way, why would you just drop it? Why would you just come out and say we can't prove
Yo,
that he?
so sometimes it's easier to just let it go than to do the right thing. Sometimes, like I don't know the
Do the
ins and
right
outs.
thing.
Nah, it's true though. You know what I mean? There's times where like corporations will know, like, yeah, I'm at fault, but yeah, you can sue me. I'm gonna let this go forever because I know your money's gonna dry up. They'll do stuff like that, and there's other times they go like, yo, is it even worth us going to litigation? It's not. All right, yo, let's just drop it. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what's the.
Well, that's not what they
benefits.
did. They didn't just drop it. They said they couldn't find any wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
they announced, like, hey, you know what? You're good. So he's good. If you want me to say, yo, all right, I was wrong about Dillian doing drugs, I don't know.
All right, so let's
make
make this like the police say they have probable cause to arrest you. And so they arrest you, and then the clerk finds that there's probable cause to charge you with a crime.
Yep.
And so now you're being charged with this crime. And then when it comes time for you to be arraigned, they say, well, we actually take it back. We didn't have probable cause to, arrest this guy. And,
Well, they're saying we didn't have probable cause, or they're saying they don't have a solid enough case to convict. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So if they don't have a solid case to actually convict me of the crime, then I can see them going like,
well, in all fairness, that's what I need to know. I need to know, are they saying they had enough for probable cause to charge, but they don't have enough to convict. That's what I need.
And that's what I think is happening.
But what it
They don't
sounds
have
like,
enough to convict.
to me, is they're saying that they charged him when they never had probable cause. That's what it sounds like to me. And if that is what they're saying, then they owe him. Like, they cost this man. Like, this dude took a hit. His reputation took a hit. The man was depressed. You can see it. He said it. You hear his post-fight interview. This post-fight interview was like therapy relief. His brother said, Dillian quit. I had to convince him to go to the gym. This dude weighed in at 271 pounds, the heaviest of his career. And we're all talking about Andy Ruiz weighing 280.
He did that on purpose.
Like Dillian White.
That wasn't on purpose.
Accident. Dillian was by accident.
Dillian wasn't by accident. Dillian White was by depression.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. By depression.
And he just went in there overweight and still won.
He went in there wanting to get knocked out.
I know.
Like, for real, he went in there wanting to get knocked, and it just didn't happen.
He just too good. Even Fatty's too good. I'm still too good. Damn. He was trying to convert to Fat Boy season. He was trying to convert to Andy Ruiz
Ruiz's
style.
team,
He said, I know how to beat Joshua. Pack on the pounds. Nah, but
Ruiz need to stay over there in the zone.
since losing to AJ, Dillian White beat Derek Chisora. He beat Robert Helenius, the guy who beat Derek Chisora and only lost to Vladimir Klitschko at that time. He beat Lucas Brown. He beat Joseph Parker. He beat Derek Chisora again. He beat Oscar Rivas. And that's when this whole traces of illegal substance and waiting for a B sample issue came in. Like
I'm
Trill
sick
said.
and tired of everybody beating up on Archer Shaw. Every time you read off somebody,
No, but what I was saying was like,
every time you read off somebody's record, they don't
I think
beat up.
Get in there, though.
but I think what what's his name? Is this what's the president of the WBC? Forgot his name.
Oh, Suleiman, Marco
Suleiman, right? I think what's gonna happen is, because they gave the mandatory slot to Fury, I think right after that it's like, Wilder, you gotta fight 2 back-to-back mandatories. They're probably just gonna make Wilder do that, and then the next fight will be Wilder versus Dillian.
We don't want to see that. We want to see Wilder fight AJ. That's what
No, I want to see that, but I don't think AJ gonna take that fight.
AJ
Wilder
ain't
ain't-
gonna take that fight.
He said-
he told us he ain't gonna take it.
AJ's not gonna give him free pub by mentioning his name. If Wilder's serious, he make a contract offer.
Wilder is not fighting nobody's mandatories. He ain't fighting nobody's mandatories. I think Wilder has been the champion for how long? You know what I mean?
He's been the franchise champion, bro.
How long?
Wilder
how
gave
long-
him
how
an
long-
idea
How
for
many,
that.
how many mandatories has he fought?
I don't know. We gotta look.
I think
this up.
one.
I gotta look.
It was Brazil, right?
Brazil. That's the only
It's
mandatory
only
thing he
mandatory.
fought. One time.
Yeah, like-
and that was the excuse he gave Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury got in the ring when he was active and said, "Let's do it, you bum." He was like, "Oh, I gotta fight my mandatory. You gotta fight my mandatory." Like, yo, man, that guy's a clown, man. Yo, so how you feel about Dillian White and this whole situation, man?
Man, I just hope he bounced back from all the
Yo, that's bad when somebody wins a
Just
fight.
keep your head up.
It's
keep your head
bad when
up,
somebody
bro.
wins a fight and we're saying we feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying?
Poor
It's
Dillian.
crazy. Poor Dillian, man. Like I'm rooting for you, Dillian. I want you to win.
For people who don't know, when we first started the show, we would talk about how Dillian won, and then the WBC be like, okay, you gotta win one more fight, and then you be mandatory. And then Dillian win another fight. I'm like, okay, look, things
I promise
change.
you one last fight.
One more fight, we're gonna become mandatory. Then Dillian becomes the mandatory, and then this Oscar Rivas stuff happens. And Trill the first time was saying, poor Dillian. And he was saying, like, they just don't like you. Like, they don't want you to be their champion. And he was just saying it, and we were laughing at first because it was a joke. It was funny. And she was like, it's like the girl who's just not that into you. It was just a joke, right? But, like, now, it's like, yo,
Really
this joke ain't funny no more, yo.
Yo, I know that the WBC as well as like the WBA and all the other belts, they're international, right? But who was Oscar Rivas to even be a qualifier for the mandatory slot? For
Oscar
Wilder?
Rivas is a good
You know what I'm
fighter.
saying?
He'd be probably the best fighter outside of Fury that Wilder's ever fought. Oscar Rivas beat Brian Jennings. Yeah, this
But
guy,
everybody beat Brian Jennings.
except
You know what I'm saying?
Wilder. Yo, bro, that's my point. My dude, yo, like, yo, all these Wilder heads, they don't realize that guy don't fight nobody.
What I'm saying is,
That's what hurts him.
yo, it's like, just to me, I just feel like the structure of how they establish mandatories doesn't necessarily make sense. Honestly, they should just implement tournaments. And then, yo, whoever's at top of that tournament,
Nah, that's
you
not.
get to fight the
That's
champion.
not the way to go. Yo, the same thing that hurts boxing is the same thing that makes boxing. You don't have commissions. You don't have to adhere to certain rules and regulations. So the same thing that hurts boxing is the same thing that makes boxing because you're able to. Deontay Wilder is able to. The greatest smoking mirror. He's able to create the illusion that he's a real threat because there's no commission. But you know.
Yeah, I think that's probably what G was saying. He just probably worded it wrong. I think he's more so saying as far as let it be one belt, one name. And when it's
we had this conversation before, right? Where it's like, yo, just
these
one.
guys, you know what I'm saying? Instead of the guy having to fight all his mandatories, these guys should fight each other. And who is considered the number one contender? You know what I'm saying? Fight that champion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, I don't disagree. But what I'm saying is, I agree with that in theory. But what I'm trying to explain to him is the reason why boxing is what it is. The money is, for example, we have one champion. There's only one championship fight people can pay to go see. If we had only one champion, and all these other countries can't say, "Oh, we have this champion, we got that champion." So what draws people in is you gotta have the belt. Like America right now, we got Wilder with a belt, so we're like, "Yo, our champion." Right? Then you got Joshua with a belt. Right? So when you have multiple belts, then you have multiple. Like, think about it. It's one thing to say I'm paying to go to this fight, but it's another thing to pay to be like, "Yo, I went to the middleweight championship fight of the world," right? And then a fighter comes out. But it's one thing when they come out with the belts. It's the illusion.
No, but what I'm
It's-
saying is, we could. I'll concede to that. I'll give you that argument. Maintain multiple belts. However, the way they establish mandatory should still be a tournament style. You know, it should be based upon actual rankings. Like, yo, if you defeat, you know, a person who's ranked number 3 and you're saying number 10, you should be able to move up closer. You know what I'm saying? And then if you beat 2 people like within the
rank
top
system.
10, you should be at least 1 or 2 to have the mandatory slot to fight the champion. But if you just fighting a random dude that's not even in the top 10, how are you gonna get like, all right,
There's
you earned the
really
mandatory?
no good way to do it, like tournament style, because once again, you're taking away the freedom of the fighters to fight. Hey, hear me out.
No, you can fight who you want.
No. Tournament style would say you're gonna take 4 fighters. I mean, here's why I disagree with it right now. Say tournament style. In the same division, you got Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Shakur Stevenson, and they all want to be champions. We're gonna make them all fight each other before they're ready for each other. I don't necessarily agree with that. I do
No,
think
I'm not saying to make them fight. What I'm saying is, if you fight this person, then you move up. If you fight this person, you're gonna move up 3 slots.
That's
you
the way it
fight
is
this
now.
person, you're gonna move up 10 slots.
that's the way.
So, but what I'm saying is, you
that's
don't
the way
make
is
it.
now.
No, but what I'm saying is, like Dillian fought a dude that wasn't even in the top 10 to now become the mandatory. I don't even see how that's
Oscar
even
Rivas?
possible. Yeah, Oscar
He
Rivas
was at
he
the
wasn't
time.
in the top 10.
Oscar
of the
Rivas,
WBC?
Was he in the top 10 of WBC?
They have their own rankings.
Hey, I know, but I don't know what's
If I want to
Yeah,
advance
man.
in that rankings, I fight the guy who they have. That's what I'm saying. And
All
what
their
you should-
rankings is weird.
What you should be asking is why. It's not the rankings that are weird. You're asking the wrong question. I want to prove to you why. Dillian White was ranked number 1 when Dominic Brazil was Wilder's mandatory. What you should be asking is why did they make Deontay Wilder's mandatory the guy who isn't ranked number 1? Because when Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Brazil, Dillian White was ranked number 1 by WBC. So your argument should be you should always have to fight the number 1 challenger rather than saying make a tournament style. So that's all, and that would be fine.
See, and I respect that.
Yeah, right there. That's it.
Exactly.
Fight the number 1.
All right, so we'll change gears here a little bit. You know, with the moving on from
Heavyweight.
the heavyweight division, we're gonna get the reaction to the real fighters, as Trill like to say. now we're talking. Trill said. We're gonna get
My
the,
weight class. My weight class. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get the reaction to the fighters who come in
you
shape.
big boys.
Who come in shape, ready to fight, right? So, reaction to Jamel Charlo's one-punch knockout of Dennis Hogan. Ned, did you watch that?
I didn't watch the fight.
All right, shut up. Did you even see the knockout?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, you didn't even see the knockout.
It's a nice.
What was it?
It was
When
a
I
nice
sent it-
little left hook.
When
in
I
the
when I
seventh round.
sent it on the link, like they were hosting it on YouTube, like it was the
Nah,
fight.
that link that you shared, which is the preliminary fights, and it's like once the official Showtime, like official card
And I
started.
appreciate you sending that link, but I have Showtime.
Yeah, I got Showtime.
I don't have it on my I have Files,
All right.
but we don't have Showtime.
You
More,
say I have
So-
Fire Stick?
Files, but I don't have
more proof that you're why you're Ned the camera.
Thank you. You know, TV, man.
Listen, I was just waiting. The whole time I was just waiting. Hogan came up from 154, right? I
Yes,
believe.
he came up.
Yeah, and I was just waiting. It was just a matter of time. It seemed like he was brave, but he was scared. It seemed like he was scared in there. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a matter of time. I think it was the 7th round where he landed that wide left hook. that wide left hook.
That
and got
wide
him-
lead.
left
left
hook,
hook.
and got him out of there. The guy, he wanted to get out of there too. You know what I'm saying?
G, did you?
Yo, that's the only thing I seen of the fight because I was busy doing multiple stuff, and I literally every time I looked, I seen homeboy on the floor. But then that 7th round with the lead hook, literally it was wide, and caught him. Dude just fell to the floor. Bloop. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he was like struggling to get back up, but he missed the count. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, who is this guy? You know? So I don't know, man. It seemed like Charlo was supposed to win. So
Yo, I'm just saying this PBC blueprint looks real familiar to me. Put your guy, bring a guy up, make him a number 30 ranked contender, put him in there with an elite level athlete, and then he knocks him out with a one-punch wide hook, right? Didn't that just happen? Didn't Jamel Charlo just knock out Dennis Hogan, a guy who really had no shot with one wide hook that he couldn't land on an elite level fighter? Sounds real familiar to me. That's my thoughts on it. All right, moving on.
Eback Jr. fought.
Eback.
I know, but
yeah.
we're going. Hey, look, hate or fact? You decide. Tell me where I just told a lie. Tell me where I just said something that isn't true.
Charlo needs to do something. Like this thing with these networks is crazy because he's over there at PBC and they don't got nobody over there.
So what was your reaction
might
to
have
the
to jump
Eubank Jr. Matvey Korbov fight?
what fight?
What fight? I honestly, I believe that for some odd reason, if I could just go off that one round that Eubank Jr. lost, it seemed like this guy, he's not his daddy.
Are you saying they paid Korbov to?
I think he had a shoulder injury, and I'm thinking that he was gonna win that fight. I think Eubank Jr. he can talk a good one, but he ain't his daddy, man. He ain't his daddy. Like he don't got it. He don't got it. You know what I'm saying? He don't got it. You know what I'm saying? Like his dad was a real world champion. You know what I'm saying? Like Eubank Jr. wants to be a world champion. I just don't see it. But listen, put him in there with Charlo next, and Charlo's gonna dust him. You know what I'm saying? Charlo needs to leave PBC if he wants to further his career at this middleweight division here, or go to 168.
Well, Charlo did just call out Andrade, so
You know what I'm saying?
he called out Demetrius. So who knows?
Demetrius been calling them out for the longest time.
While he was at PBC.
So what I think is gonna finally happen now.
While he was at
Yeah,
PBC.
I mean, like, well, now Demetrius Andre's with the Zone. He's been calling these guys out for a fight, and they didn't want to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a train wreck, man. It's a mess.
And he got options. Boo don't have to go. He got options already over there at the Zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got other fights.
Because he can unify with 3Gs over there. You know what I'm saying? But even though 3G he got a rematch, he got to do the rematch with the Reverend Chenko.
Yeah, someone
you know what
should
I'm saying?
tell-
But still, he can still stay over there. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
anything, well, why don't he try to go the ESPN route? Why don't he just move up to 168 and try to fight Billy Joe Saunders or something? You know what I'm saying? Or he's gonna leave that to Canelo, because I heard that's where Canelo's going with Billy Joe Saunders next.
These guys, man. But did you said so? Basically, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really. Well, we tested the waters, and we all feel like Jamal Charlo would beat Chris Eubank Jr. anyway. So last night really didn't change that. For me, I just think Chris Eubank Jr. make the fight now. Why not? Like, if this was supposed to be a showcase, well, it was some showcase. Like, it just make the fight. It'll be a little entertaining fight for however long it lasts. I mean, I think Charlo would win, but once again,
The only thing good about that fight is gonna be the press conference.
yeah, maybe.
That's it.
Maybe. I mean, the Charlos need like press conference training.
Yeah, press conference etiquette.
Yeah, because they're not really that like entertaining with the trash talk, and seeing them in the ring, like, I mean, he got that guy out of there with that wide hook or whatever. But like, if we're being real, that guy,
He should have
that
been
dude,
fighting
yeah,
the
that
guy
was
that hurt his shoulder. He should have been fighting him again.
yeah,
That's what, to be honest with you, that's who he should have been fighting again. But they wanted to give him.
they wanted to give him food, and they wanted to give Eubank.
Yeah, they
A
should
harder
have
fight.
they should have given you been Gil Hogan and let that dude get some get back on Jamal Charlo. They trying to put that underneath the rug like that fight didn't happen. Like that dude didn't win that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to brush that under the rug. But I actually had that dude winning by like 1 round. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
Well, Danny Garcia was in the house, and Danny Garcia announced that he's fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing on January 25th. So it got me thinking, if he's fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing, Pacquiao can't be the opponent.
It ain't Pacquiao.
Because Pacquiao's pay-per-view all day. So if he's fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing, let's take a shot in the dark and try to predict who's going to be Danny Garcia's opponent for January 25th. Ned, the cameraman, let's let Ned go first. Who-
Honestly, I don't even have a clue who would be fighting in January.
Get it
See who's
together.
out there.
You're the
See
worst
who's out there.
boxing person I know, man.
You don't be watching boxing.
I know, that's why he's the worst.
I'm getting there, fellas. Work with me. I don't know who would he be fighting, but I think it'll be a spectacular.
You don't have anyone you'd like to see?
You don't think?
Ain't gonna be no spectacular opponent.
I think so.
No, it's
I think I got one of mine.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead,
Now we're
Trev.
gonna give it to my main trios. Go ahead, bro.
Ugas.
Oh, you guys?
Yeah.
You think Ugas is gonna be the fight?
I think
That's
so.
not bad. That's not a bad pick.
I think so.
That's not a bad pick.
I think so.
That's not a bad pick. I can see that happening. Just because the timing of his last fight.
Yeah, and then
like,
with
yeah.
the-
Yo, hold
last
on.
fight.
When was Garcia's last fight though?
His last fight wasn't it Adrian Granados?
Yeah.
When was that?
And then
Let me check.
'Cause it seems like that was a long time ago.
It was April 20th,
April 20th. And
Yeah.
this fight's gonna be in.
January 25th.
Yeah, that's almost a year, yo, of inactivity. I don't know, man.
So what do you think? You think Ugas is a world beater?
Yo, he's nice though, yo. The dude, yo, he is good.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
He's good enough to lose.
I think he's
Alright, yeah. You know what? Yo, Trump will still get answer. Yeah,
I mean, just think about it. Like, who else is?
Showbox for showbox level. You guys is a good
Ugas,
pick. It's not a bad picture. I was expecting for you to say something off the wall. I say Trill, man. Trill coming with the.
Put him in there with Alvarado.
All right, G. You say you and still Trill?
Oh yeah, I'm still true.
What a surprise! I'm going outside the box. Y'all don't see it coming. This is an extravaganza. This is going to be huge. He's going to fight Adrian, the problem, Brona. I'm sorry. Brona straight out. Brona can't make that weight. Not by the 25th. That would be a great fight, but he can't make that weight by the 25th. I actually think Ugas is a really
It'll
solid
be too
pick.
much respect for that.
Broner's pushing weight, not making weight. All right.
That's too much love in that fight. People that don't realize that they're really friends in real life.
I don't think Porter's going to want to take the risk of Danny Garcia.
And
I
Mikey
think
ain't Mikey don't look.
Mikey's not ready. I think Ugas is the perfect opponent. But if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say Amir Khan. Rematch.
Yeah, but America ain't.
Nobody's paying for that.
Amir Khan.
Nobody's paying for that. I think the safe bet that you would put on Showbox.
I'm just saying safe.
Yeah.
To me,
any other fight wouldn't be Showbox though. You dig what I'm saying? Like if you make it Sean Porter, then that's talking about pay-per-view kind of like that shouldn't mean that'll be a great Showbox though. I mean, there'll probably be like 3 million people that watch that fight. If you put it on Showtime, but I mean, so I think you guys is a safe bet, man. Good pick, Trills. I'm surprised by you, Trill, man. You stepping it up, man. Your matchmaking, no. Trill's matchmaking day, yo. Like, Trill, who should he fight? Trill. Trill started at 50 and under.
Danny and Ryan Garcia. Nah, but yeah, I see that fight happening, man.
All right, so Terrence Crawford versus the Mean Machine. What are your thoughts on that fight? And also, there's this discussion going around the internet of who would win, Terrence Crawford or Floyd Mayweather in his prime. So, yes, we're going to talk about that. Ned, do you even know who the Mean Machine is?
No, I do not.
Do you know who Terrence Crawford is?
Of course, I know Terrence Bud Crawford.
So, who you got, Terrence Crawford or the Mean Machine?
Terrence Crawford. You know.
All right.
The,
If they fought in a prime, who would you have, Floyd Mayweather or Terrence Crawford?
Floyd. I'm picking Pretty Boy over Terrence
You
Crawford.
seem confused about that.
No, I put my money down. I put everything. I put down my life savings, the mortgage, the children's college fund, my 401k, every last cent on Floyd if there was to fight.
All right, G.
I mean, as goofy as that was, I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, there's no way Terrence Crawford is actually way smaller than Floyd, too. Floyd's reach was crazy for his height. You know what I mean? So,
176, right?
yeah, and so I'll be honest with you,
176.
he's at a disadvantage. They're both skilled, but Floyd, for one, has a resume of, like, several elite fighters and dominating them. Terrence Crawford, not so much. So, logically, you'll have to go with Floyd. Now, because it's prime. Now, the question, I think, will be tricky if it's like, if Floyd comes back from retirement, who will win? You know what I'm saying? Then people's opinions
Bump
may
it. Let's
change.
make it that. If Floyd came out of retirement and fought Terrence Crawford right now, who do you think will win?
That's a tough one. I wouldn't put down any money on it, but I still go with Floyd. I wouldn't put any money.
See, that's smart. I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put money on it. You know what I'm saying? If I do, it'd be like something like that. If I lost it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't bet no significant money on that fight because the factor is of, is like Floyd in top competitive shape? Who knows? And I kind of feel like I would love to see a Floyd at least do a tune-up fight before he goes in there with a Terrence Crawford. But I still believe how spectacular Floyd was when he was boxing, that I think he can still replicate that. Or even if he's a shadow of his old self, could still pull off a victory against a Terrence Crawford in his prime, which is right now.
Trill Dollar Bill, man. Your thoughts on Terrence Crawford fighting Mean Machine? The rumors who would win Terrence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather in his prime, and then Terrence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather fresh out of retirement. What are your thoughts on that?
First part of the question is with Crawford against the Mean Machine.
Yeah.
Crawford all day. Crawford versus Floyd. These people are so disrespectful. People are so disrespectful. Why? You really gonna? People are so disrespectful, yo. You gonna talk about the greatest fighter of our era? Not even. I think Floyd personally is the greatest boxer ever. That's me personally. I think he's the greatest boxer I've ever seen. To me, he's my favorite fighter of all time. Floyd is Floyd. Stop putting regular people's names in your mouth when you mention Floyd. If you're gonna say Floyd, say Sugar Ray Robinson. If you're gonna say Floyd, say Joe Louis. If you're gonna say Floyd, say Muhammad Ali. If you're gonna say Floyd, don't say Floyd in, you know what I'm saying?
A current fighter who hasn't proved nothing.
Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Even look at weight classes. Who did he fight at 140? Terrence Crawford fight. His toughest fight challenge at 140. His toughest fighter at 140. And that was the best he's ever done, was at 140. So I'm going to say Victor Pastel was. I'm going to say Victor Pastel was his hardest. You mean to tell me Chop Shop Corley wouldn't beat Victor? You should be asking who's out of Chop Shop Corley in Crawford. That's what you should be asking. You know what I'm saying? Who would have won? Because Chop Shop Corley was a dangerous fighter. And he lost to Floyd at 140. You know what I'm saying? So we should be asking that. You know what I'm saying? There's levels. You know what I'm saying? There's certain levels. Like, put some respect on Floyd's name. Like, why would you even mention a TC? And not even talk about 147. The things that Floyd did at 147, TC hasn't even did things Keith Thurman has done at 147. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, who brought that up? Is somebody just being?
No, the internet's really asking that question.
That's who controls the internet? Some person that probably
He's like, it must be a Russian bot.
Yeah,
you know?
it's somebody that did this that never watches boxing or is just being very disrespectful towards Floyd. That just a casual put that up and people was running with it, or is it somebody at ESPN
It was
being
probably
silly?
Bomac that put it up.
Yeah, somebody being silly. But I don't even see them even entertaining that.
Yeah, facts.
They wouldn't even entertain that silly stuff like that. They wouldn't even disrespect Floyd and put Floyd's name in their mouths like that. They wouldn't do that.
All right, so I'm just gonna jump in and be like this. At first, I was upset. At first, I was mad. At first, I was ready to come in here and let my top blow. I was so frustrated. But then I realized they were comparing Terrence Crawford to Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr.
That makes sense.
That's up in the air. That's up in the air.
Like,
You know?
now we're talking about a competitive fight. Because see, Floyd Mayweather Sr. has a record of 28-6 with 17 knockouts and 1 draw.
That's what
now,
they were
Floyd Mayweather Sr., he lost to some mediocre competition, but he was in there with Ray Leonard. Okay, and Ray Leonard. And so, who do I think would win, Terrence Crawford or Mayweather Sr.? When Mayweather Sr. was in his prime? I give it to Terrence Crawford by a split decision. If Mayweather Sr. was to come out of retirement right now to fight Terrence Crawford, I think Terrence Crawford would get him out of there in like the 11th round stoppage. And the Mean Machine, who is he? I don't know. So Terrence Crawford, stop fighting bums. That's my way of saying I'm not entertaining rubbish. All right.
Before we get to close out of here, you know what? There's other people too for TC to be fighting. Like, that's a name like Lipinets. You know what I'm saying? Lippin, yes, he's having
Kell
fun
Brook,
for
he
his
seems
second.
to still
You know
be.
what
I
I'm
could
saying?
fight Kell Brook.
You know what I'm saying? Like this way, if you can't fight one of these PBC guys, just other people for you to fight, man. It's
He's posing. He's acting like he's looking for the fights, and nobody wants to smoke with him. It's a classic. See, everybody has their classic strategies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the classic Bob Arum strategy. To make it look like you're chasing people, and Bob Arum for some reason gets all his fighters ranked number one. It's from the beginning of the time, I got Chocolate Tito. From Chocolate Tito to Manny Pacquiao being ranked over Floyd to what's Triple G with him? No, Triple G was with HBO. But I know he gets Terrence Crawford ranked number one. He gets Lomachenko ranked number one. This guy gets like all his guys ranked number one, and their resumes never add up. And then years later, the irony of the situation is you got Max Kellerman, who worked for HBO and used to pucker up for Triple G every time he stepped in the ring. I remember this quote like it was yesterday. Hey Max, hey Max, hey Max, he's a good boy. Hey Max, they're good boys. Hey Max, good boys. Now Max Kellerman don't work for HBO anymore, and he works for ESPN. And now Triple G was all smoke and mirrors. Now Triple G's resume was never as good as they thought it was. No, brother, you knew what y'all were doing. Y'all were hyping them up, creating them, doing this stuff. That's Terrence Crawford. That's Vasily Lomachenko. You guys need to stop with the madness. Terrence Crawford, he can get the fights, like Trill said. If he wants the fights, he can get the fights.
Other decent fights.
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, Mean Machine. We call him Mean Machine because we don't know how to say his name.
But yeah, you can fight guys like Lippin Nets. At least he has a name. You get there's other things you can do, man. There's other guys.
Before we close out, there's one thing that we at the Boxing Bros agree we must do. We must call out the Zone, and we must call out Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing. Stop bringing these fighters from Africa to the States, to Saudi Arabia, to the UK without giving them a full camp, without giving them the proper tools to at least look decent in a fight. Y'all brought that guy in there to fight that kid in the swing bout. He borrowed a t-shirt, he borrowed some shorts, went in that ring and got embarrassed in the first round.
He had on bicycle shorts.
My man showed up in like bicycle shorts and soccer socks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, come on, man.
Bought an outfit from him at the Goodwill in Saudi Arabia. And another thing is when we went to the fight, when we went to Demetrius Andrade versus whomever, he was a guy who was a last minute replacement for Billy Joe Saunders after he took the nasal spray, air quotes. You brought that guy in from Africa. Didn't give him a fair shake, didn't give him a fair camp. Every time I turn on a DAZN card, there's some poor guy or poor woman from Africa who was brought in just to get beat up.
And you ain't paying them. We know you ain't paying
You
them.
know what's funny? I said that last night. I was like, how much you think they got paid to do that?
He got 8 racks.
You know what I mean? I don't even think that much.
He got 8 racks. But you got to understand, he got to pay everybody.
Yeah, this is sad, man.
Shame on you, Eddie. Shame on you, DAZN. Shame on you, Matchroom Boxing.
Shame on you, Eddie.
Eddie. We won't have Eddie. Hey, listen. Eddie Hearn, show some respect to Africa.
Yeah,
Your prized pupil, okay? Your prized possession, your prized fighter is a descendant from Africa.
And they were going crazy in Africa last night for AJ. They were going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All right?
Thank you for watching Boxing Bros. Please like and subscribe. Check us on YouTube. This will be on YouTube, but this will also be on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and with all major streaming services. This is the Boxing Bros signing out.
That's right.
Catch us next week for a more exciting boxing news coming from us, the Boxing Bros. Signing off. This is Trill.
My speed, my combination punches. He moves like a robot. I've been training with Manny Robles.
Who let you in here, Andy? Who let you in here? Get out of here, Andy. You out of style, boy. TV, baby.